Hi, it's Jen here from the Insync marketing team. How do we prevent something from going pear-shaped? If you think about it, there are many roles in society where you need to watch for subtle changes in order to make a quick decision or to take necessary actions to prevent something going wrong. For example, a surgeon will monitor a patient's vital signs during an operation, or a power station operator will monitor the control readings on a screen, or an accountant will look out for key number changes in a company's books. All of these roles have two things in common. One, they already have years of training and experience under their belts. And two, they know what to look for in their signal detection and they know what to do when they see something. I'm joined today by Jo McDevitt, who is a Principal of Risk Consulting at Insync. Jo's going to talk to us about another role and a tool that they can use to also prevent things going pear-shaped in their world. So, Jo, hi. Tell me, what role are we talking about and what tool are they using?
Thanks, Jen. The role's actually anyone on a leadership team. It's sometimes the CRO and it's sometimes the whole LT, and sometimes it's the leader of a major project. The point is, it's a business role that's accountable for good outcomes in a space where things can go wrong. And the tool they're using is a business risk scenario model. It's a terminology really for a summarized view on the things that matter most, how pear-shaped we think they could get, and a way to monitor deviation and respond quickly. It's like monitoring that power station with all the information to hand to tell you if things are going wrong and the information quickly to tell you what to do about it.
Okay, so this sounds like quite a complicated tool. Does it take a lot of time and money to develop and maintain?
Actually, no, it's certainly a data dense tool and pulling a lot of information together in one place to enable rapid and relevant decision making to occur. But the reality is that the data needed to populate a business risk scenario model is it already exists in the business. It's just not usually presented in a way that's accessible. And in most risk frameworks, for example, they don't pull this underlying data together into one complete picture.
Okay, so why is that? I would assume that sophisticated and regulated businesses that have already spent a lot of money on governance, risk and compliance would have all the tools that they need, or and the execs are well primed to monitor business performance and risk exposures and make decisions on how to change course or respond quite quickly.
That's probably true for many financial risks, such as market or credit or liquidity risks. It's much less the case with non financial risks, such as operational risks. And the COVID-19 pandemic has highlighted just how big a gap many organisations have in their ability to look through all of their operational risk data and find the signal from the noise. In other words, many of them weren't ready to make the right decisions in the right timeframes to minimise how pear-shaped things were going to be.
Do you have any examples of that?
Sure, let's pick a couple. Supply chains and access to critical resources. Many organisations have outsourced 40% upwards of their operating model, and they manage these relationships on a day-to-day basis, often with no problems or challenges. But what they haven't always done is fully understand the contractual rights and obligations under those outsourced arrangements, and they haven't linked the risk and control points between the two parties in such a way that might allow them to protect their own interests when the unexpected but entirely foreseeable pandemic hit. They didn't know where they stood, and they didn't know how to deal with their supply side disruption. And on the critical resource side, many organisations they didn't think deeply enough about what really was critical to their business, how the resources required to operate the business would be able to do that in various stress situations.
You just mentioned that the pandemic was foreseeable, but that might not necessarily be a universal view.
Look, I'm sure it's not, and but there is a ton of information and discussion out there about how the risk of another MERS or SARS or H1N1 or Zika, was there. Prominent leaders have been advocating for more to be done to prepare for years, and government health departments that they provide guidance for businesses on how to deal with pandemics. And so do some regulators. They need you to consider it in your business resilience planning. So predicting this specific set of events occurring leading to the particular pandemic and crisis we're living through right now, that may not have been possible. But I think certainly something that many organisations and governments and regulators were thinking about, or they should have been. And I think that's one of the key elements of the business risk scenario model. Built into it is the knowledge that we can't actually prepare for every possible eventuality, but we can prepare well for the most important ones.
Thanks, Joe. I think that's a really great point, the power of preparedness over prediction. I look forward to talking more with you about how to build out and use these scenario models.
Thanks, Jen. I'm looking forward to sharing more of the how to build and how to generate value from these.